I woke up and I was seeing all these numbers in my room, like it was a portal and all these numbers. And I said, well, what is this? And they said, when you talk to Julie, tell people that these are the codes that they need to start converging their timelines. So tell them these codes, have the people write them down, and they need to chant them in a sing-songy voice. And this will help them move their other timelines into this one. So here we go. This one is for spiritual alignment and cosmic intelligence. So could you define that, guys? Spiritual alignment, cosmic, talking to us, talking to the upper realms, opening your third eye. 918. 918. They said it like a jingle. 918, but you can do any tune you want.
It's like you're dialing them like an area code.
Yeah,
almost.
918.
Wow. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. It's where we blend spirituality and practicality to help you live a life of purpose and joy. We have a returning guest, my friend Rachel Corpus, on the show with us today. Rachel discovered she's an actual angel in human form, a revelation that came during the first of several near-death experiences when she was shown the angelic realm she originally came from. Today, she channels messages from angels, ascended masters, spirits in heaven, and high vibrational extraterrestrials. Along with asking Rachel to channel a message from her angels for us, I'm eager to explore the difference between angels and humans, how embodying angelic energy shapes her life as a wife and mother, and what role she plays in this pivotal moment of the Earth's evolution. Please remember to subscribe, leave a comment, and share this episode with your family and friends. Now, let's go chat with Rachel. Rachel, welcome back to the show. I'm so excited you're here, returning champion.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be back.
Oh, I was telling you before we started recording, you and Chris and I were talking. I said, we have been so excited to have you back on the show. And my whole morning, I feel like I've been dancing around going, zippity doo dah, zippity. I get to have Rachel today. So, yeah, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are most welcome. You had an NDE at the age of 4.
Mhm.
What happened?
Well, my family was hit by a drunk driver, and my little girl self was in the car, and my big girl self, my consciousness, was taken out of my body. And my whole life before that, all 4 years of my whole life before that, I had been talking to spirit. And to me, my experience had been understanding what animals had been saying to me and seeing people who had passed and what I identified as angels at that time. I had already been having those experiences like a lot of kids do. A lot of kids are born spiritual. And in fact, I believe everybody's born with intuition. I really do.
I do
To
too.
various degrees.
I agree.
When I had this near-death experience, I was whooshed out of my body, and there was this grown-up voice talking to me, which I soon realized was this voice, this kind of sometimes Ethel Mermany voice. And there were other angels there, and they pretty much said, hey, this is your voice. This is you. It's your grown-up. You're an angel. And this is where you're from. We're going to show you around. You are a Seraphim. This is your locker. This is your workspace. And this is where you're from. And I had to get used to this other grown-up voice, and I realized, oh, this is who I am. And then my little 4-year-old self would pop in and say, well, wait, will I still get to play house? Will I still get to play dress up? So I had this kind of back and forth duality or dichotomy going on, which I really believe, Julie, is how I remember it so fluidly, because I had my consciousness with me. Very strange and wonderful. It was beautiful there, wonderful. And I hear a lot of NDEers mention a choice or a decision to stay or go back. And they did talk to me about that. You know, you can stay here, here's your mission, you can go back, it's your mission. But I didn't really make a choice. My little 4-year-old self remembered my mama, and she'd be so sad if I didn't go back. And then as soon as I remembered my mom, my next remembrance was being back in my body. But when I was there, I I have remembrance of them showing me what the world would be like a lot of things that are happening right now and a lot of things in the world's timeline leading up to this time and in my personal life. They showed me what that would look like. So I can't say that it meant much to me at that time because I didn't have a lot of world experience under my belt. It just kind of looked like a fast playing movie. But as it unraveled throughout my life, I thought, oh, that's what that meant. And I've had other near death experiences since then where I've gone back and I've had, I lightheartedly call them meetings or updates, where they've said, oh, this timeline has shifted. We've got to tell you this, or this one's going to be a little bit bigger. This one's not going to happen. And every time I come back, my gifts are a little bit adjusted or bigger, embellished perhaps. But yeah, that's the gist of it, sister.
Well, that's a lot to unpack. I have about 15 million questions for you just
Ready?
from what you've just said. By the way, I want you to see if your angels have a message for us while we're talking today.
They
And
do.
and so before we get to that, I got a bunch of other questions and then we'll save that for a little bit later. First of all, when you were told that you're an angel and you're a seraphim, can you tell us what's the role of a seraphim? What's a seraphim and what's their role as we humans understand it?
Sounds fancy. It's not.
Well, you had
Um,
a desk and a workspace cubby. I thought that was interesting.
I know, right? Uh, I think some of that was presented to me as a human because humans really get into our labels and our roles, and this is where I go and I do this. And I really believe that a lot of that is for my benefit when I go there because I find it peaceful to know where do I go? Where do I sign up? I think that a lot of that is for my Rachel ego, honestly, because even though I am fully incarnate angel in a body right now as I'm incarnate, I I have ego. So they help me by saying, "Okay, as you do this big thing, here's your assignment," and it calms me. So I will say to you,
It's a human frame of reference to help us understand things. I like to say it's a metaphor
yes,
for something so we can process it from our human frame of reference.
yes. So I am under the understanding that angels are much bigger than desks and spaces and things like that, but when they show me, that's how they help me understand. So, my understanding is that there are different levels of angels, but there's not really a hierarchy. They all work together in collaboration. And the seraphim level or rank, this is where a lot of wisdom is held. So the unborn babies are there, and the unborn babies are there because this is where souls go to prepare for the next incarnation, whatever planet they're going to. So this is where we hang out right before we're going to pop into our body. We design our work ethic, our milestones in our lives, our soul's blueprint. We engage with the Akashic records and all the soul libraries. We meet with our guides. We meet with our guardian angels, our ascended masters. This is the place where all those meetings happen. And in fact, our life review at the end of a lifetime, that can also happen there if that's something we design at the end of the life. So that's a big part of the seraphim realm. It's also where a lot of neutral meeting places happen for the galactic councils. That can happen at the Seraphim realm because it's just a place of absolute, it's kind of like Sweden. It's a place of neutrality. Yeah. Or Switzerland. I think it's Switzerland. Yeah.
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 So the Galactic Council, you're just throwing that in there just as a, the Galactic Council meets there with the Galactic Council.
Yeah, let me just name drop a little bit. That's what angels like to do. Yeah, well, the Galactic Council, meaning that the extraterrestrials and the angels are high vibrational beings. Think of them like neighbors. They resonate at the highest frequency. And a lot of people wonder if angels and extraterrestrials are the same thing. Well, I don't have all the answers. I don't dare to say I have all the answers. I have all the questions, I think. But what I have come to realize is that angels and extraterrestrials are so very much alike. When I go into the realm and I attend those meetings, sometimes as a note taker or a participant or just an observer, fly on the wall, there are a lot of extraterrestrials and angels in the same room, and their vibrational frequency is the same love frequency, and they are really from the same place. So when I notice when they converge for a peace meeting and they're talking about what's going on in all the other realms, it's often the Seraphim realm where they'll choose. And there are no flags there. It's just neutral. It's just this loving, empty, beautiful space. It feels like the quantum. It's just the quantum realm. And I've been noticing lately that here in this 3D realm, there are times in the day that used to be just reserved, say 4:45, 5 a.m., that light sleep, whatever brainwave that is, I would wake up and I would be able to sense the seraphim realm, that neutrality, that love, before the to-do list would whoosh in or the stress, the bills would rush in. But I've been sensing it at strange times of the day where it surprises me. Like Julie, the other day, I was walking through Target and it was a busy day. And there was a child having a tantrum over here. I felt hungry in my body. I mean, this was a place where it was not a peaceful time, but I was able to click into that seraphim beautiful meeting room for just a minute. And it felt the same as like a glitch, a matrix glitch, but it didn't feel off. It felt like, oh, an essence of, huh, home, like rest. And then we popped back out. And I'm noticing more of that. I don't know if it's a transition or a coming back home. And I asked the angels about it, and they said, this isn't really the awakening. This is the remembering. Everyone on earth is talking about the enlightenment, the awakening. It's not. That's a mismarketing. People are just remembering that they've been here all along. We're just keeping the room warm. You've just been keeping the room warm. Like, remember the old, we'll keep the light on for you. Remember that marketing campaign?
Right. Yeah.
And so all of this that's been happening around the world, yes, we have a lot of duality in the world, but what they've been showing me, Julie, is all of those spaces, the galactic councils, the extraterrestrials, the angels, all the higher dimensional beings, they are closer to us now because they are lighting the fire. They're keeping the rooms aglow because our consciousness is ready for it now.
Okay. More questions. When you're describing being in the room with the CTs and the angels and you're in there, what's coming into my head as a visual is it looks like a conference room to me. Looks like there's like banks of windows, but the table, like the big long conference table and the chairs just look like energy. They're not solid. They're like in the shape of a chair, but they just look like energy. And then the beings are standing and sitting at around this conference area that's just all energy. Does that make sense? Is that similar to what you witnessed when you were
It's
there?
very similar.
Okay.
The room is bright white,
Right.
and
That's
it
what
is the sense of a room with no walls or
right.
ceiling. There is a sense of a floor because there are some people that are beings and people that are standing there, but you can't really see the floor, but yeah, we are standing there. And then there are beings that you can sense, but you can't see, but you could walk right up to them and have a conversation. It's just a knowing because we're all in our, I want to say sixth sense, but someone just said our primary sense when we're there. I've not heard that before. Our primary sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm noticing a lot of people enter not from up, but from diagonal. They just come in, and I do feel a table there, but I also can't see it.
Yeah. It's all energy to me. It's like in the shape of a table, and it's probably a metaphor to help me understand, my human experience of a conference room is you got a big table and you got a bunch of chairs around it. But you've seen those clear lucite tables and
Yes.
chairs and all of that, but there's nothing solid about them. It's just energy. Okay.
On the count of 3, I want you to put your hand in the shape of the top of the table, like the head of the table. Will you do that with me? Be brave.
What do you mean?
What's the shape? Like, here's all the chairs on the side. Now the 2 ends, what's the end shape like?
Kind of in a U shape almost.
Put your fingers like it.
Like a U, like this? Like a U? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. That's what I see.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too.
Yeah, me too.
Interesting that it's a long table, but it's rounded at the ends. What does that mean?
I my sense okay, I don't wanna have a sense, I'm just gonna ask them. Sometimes I don't know if I know because I've been to so many meetings. I'm just gonna ask them.
I just heard more inclusive.
Yes, so the information stays flowing. And I saw one side of the table like, infinity, it's moving over like infinity.
Yeah, like a pool.
Yes, and I can put my fingers in it, and it felt like if I was in a thesaurus or something, I could get any words I needed. Oh, like, I went to church with one of my sons last Sunday, it was Pentecost, and they talked about how all the languages could be understood.
I
Oh,
took that out of the bulletin, Rachel, because I was at mass last weekend too, and the first reading was about how everybody in all their tongues, they all understood telepathically, and I thought, "Well, duh, yeah, that's what I
yeah, I was like, "Oh, that was for me."
I know, me too. I
I think that
I
happens at the council meetings a lot, we can all just understand each other.
I tore that little blurb out of the bulletin that had the readings in it. Yeah, you and I were on the same page with that.
Come on,
Yeah,
sister, come on.
yeah. So, how fun. What's the difference between angels and humans?
The way Let's talk about the type of angel that I am for a moment. So this is where people will start the discourse in the comments, which I welcome and love. Have at it. This is your safe space, people. We love you. I am a pure angel spirit. So people will often say that angels cannot be human. And that's not always true. So if you were to peel my body away and look at my spirit DNA, if you looked at my human DNA, my blood type is B positive. I could die today. I'm mortal. If you keep going and you look at my spiritual DNA, I'm not from this planet. Well, neither are you, Julie. Neither's your producer, neither are your kids. We're all from someplace. We're all star seeds. We're from the angelic realm. We're all from somewhere. Nobody's really human. Well, an angel, the type of angel I am, when God gave me my very first spark of life, my first spark of life was in the Seraphim realm. That's where I was created. I had my first incarnations in the Seraphim realm. That's where I work. That's what I do. At some point, God said to me, "Hey, love, we need you over there." And I incarnated onto Earth. And the way I got here was I had assistants choosing the best mom and dad for that experience. And when I chose that mom and dad, then I was born through them. So I'm full human and I'm full angel. Now, there are other types of angels as well called earth angels. And earth angels are half human, half angel,
Is that like a hybrid
a
kind of?
hybrid. Yeah. So, right before the time of Noah, there were a fleet of angels that were sent to look over humans, and they fell in love. And there was a whole population of giants born. And these giants were incredibly intelligent and gifted and psychic. They had extreme body pain. It was hard for them to live. They did not exist for long. There are still a lot of earth angels walking the earth today, and they're remembering that they're earth angels, highly empathic. This is where we get the story in the Bible of the fallen angels, where we hear the story that God found out that angels mated with humans and God was mad, so he sent Lucifer to oversee the realm of the fallen angels, cast out the underworld. But it's actually not true. It's not in our angel doctrine. It's not in our story. Actually, what we were told in our angel school is that God doesn't cast anyone out. But where these unions came from love, we're actually told that these angels were rehomed. Go to your families, go love, go be together. And they're still thriving. And we actually don't see Archangel Lucifer as evil. We see Archangel Lucifer as the bearer of light, that he brought light into that part of the realm. And that's the story of the earth angels. So we have full incarnate angels that usually don't come to earth. There aren't many full incarnate angels. They usually stay heaven side or quantum side. And then we have earth angels who typically incarnate to be light workers. So that's what I know. And of course, we have angels that come through animals all the time, especially horses, dogs, cats, birds.
How about guardian angels? What
Oh,
category
yeah,
are they
great
in?
question. Guardian angels are assigned to specific people. Everyone has guardian angels. People typically have, everyone has at least one. People these days typically have two, I've noticed. Some people have more. And your guardian angel has been with you in every single lifetime consistently.
I get the
Yeah.
same thing. I've heard
Yeah.
that so many times from spirit that we have
Yeah.
the same guardian angel in all of our lifetimes.
I've
Do they get assigned to us or do we choose
well,
them?
I've asked this question a lot, and what come to learn is that you get your guardian angel, at least your first one, when you yourself are created. That's when that assignment happens. And your second one, if you have one, sometimes gets assigned later on, and you can get more sometimes temporarily if you're going through something big, positive, negative, or neutral, because really in spirit, there's no positive or negative. But if you have something big going on, you might receive another angel for a while. And your guardian angels have their own personality, but they don't have ego, so they're never upset with us. But they're hilarious. They match our personalities, which is so much fun. And when you're not in your body, which means, meditating in surgery, of course, in between lifetimes, you know them. They're your best friends. They're different than your spirit guides because your spirit guides have human souls and you've known them from other lifetimes. They could be family members. They could be your best friends. They could even be animals. Your angels could have animal spirits, but once they're angels, they will talk to you in the language that matches you, and symbols and colors as well. Archangels are not assigned to anyone. They are not limited to time and space, so they cover everybody. And as all angels are, they are not religious. They are just matched to energy. So even though we identify with angels maybe in Christianity, they are expanded beyond that. Just like God isn't matched to religion, God matches love and all belief systems. Same with angels. And angels don't always have wings and halos. Angels show up however we need them or want them.
Yeah. Back to that nobody comes from here. I think most of us think, oh, we're really gorilla girl that's evolved over a long period of time. And and I just heard you say a couple minutes ago that we're all star seeds. Were angels the original star seeds in different galaxies and in different ecosystems and stuff, and then they came to Earth as starseed angel hybrids? You get anything on that?
Are you asking if angels were the first star seeds on Earth?
Or anywhere for that matter?
Wow. Let me ask. No.
Okay.
I'm hearing there's an elemental who's talking to me, and that elemental has no shape. I can only see like sunset colors, and the resonance, let me try to get words. The resonance of the being is saying, I'm trying to help me understand the absence of time, and it's very hard for me. Our consciousness helps to create the understanding of these beings we speak about. But if we were not on this planet, Julie, we would not even need these beings to understand this existence. They exist to help us awaken. In our next incarnation, we will not even speak of such things. They are part of this timeline.
Mhm. Interesting. What I was picturing as you were talking to that energy was I saw the sunset colors too, but it reminded me of a brooch I have. It's like a starburst, and it's got gold around the outside with like the flames of the sun, and then it's got rhinestones in the middle. And I saw that, and it was spinning in a clockwise direction really fast. And then all of those colors were merging, kind of like if you mixed a bunch of different colors of sunset colored paint together. And the more you talked to it, the more it spun and the more it just went like bright white light.
Yes, like a Fibonacci spiral, and then all the
Exactly.
energy went bloop.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. All right. So you say that Earth is a planet that influences the entire multiverse.
It
First of
does.
all, what exactly is the multiverse and what unique role does Earth play within it?
Okay. Um, our Earth, okay, the people on Earth right now, we hear this whole message out because this is a doozy, Julie. The people on Earth right now, we actually got left behind. I know it sounds drastic, right? Um,
By whom?
Let me roll that back. Our loved ones, our loved ones. But we said we know it was like a mission we took because this moving into the 12th dimension. We always talk about 5D. Those of us that are here, we actually are moving into the 12th dimension. 5D looks like this. The 12th dimension looks like this. It's more spherical. It's like it has a spider web in it, and the spider web looks like it's made of all this beautiful gold netting.
Mhm.
And what people are going to realize this year and next year, Julie, is that we've built this narrative around us that those of us here are scraping to get into the 5D. We're wrong. We forgot a part. We already did that. We did that in a timeline that was around 2008 or 2012, and then a reset button was hit. And we totally washed that. When the reset button hit, we scrubbed our consciousness. I remember it because I'm an angel. I remember. When we hit that reset button, why we did it is because a bunch of our precious loved ones, they took the pilgrimage ahead of us. And they didn't do it because they were running from anything. It was nothing like that. They didn't win a prize. They didn't win a lottery, nothing. It was just like phase 1, phase 2. We're phase 2. Phase 1 is constructing the foundation. They're doing it for us. So when we go to sleep at night, we are going to meetings with them. This is why you hear people talk about galactic councils, astral travel, even sleepwalking. Children who are being born with more ADHD, they're not really here. We are in a waking dream right now. You and I, we're perpetually dreaming because our consciousness is already with the people who left. What's going to happen this year is we are going to realize that we're going to wake up into a higher consciousness that's already been created for us. We've been creating it all along. We've been under the impression that we're scraping to create this 5D reality, but it's already there. As soon as we realize that we chose to be left behind, to dot the I's and cross the T's, soon as we collectively realize that, because the 144,000 that we needed to wake up, that happened.
The 144,000 what?
Souls.
Souls. We only
And
needed 144,000 souls to wake up,
that's all we needed.
but we got all these billions around the world. So
those billions around the world, that's phase 3.
okay.
Phase 3, those beautiful, beautiful souls, they seem like they're asleep, right? They're not. Those souls, here's what they signed up to do. They said to us, we will hold the line. We'll hold the space. Phase 1, they go over first. Phase 2, you dot the I's, cross the T's. Phase 3, we're going to hold the soil. We're going to hold the space. You guys go over, second group go over, but we're going to act like we're asleep. We're going to be fighting, screaming, surviving. We're the last ones to go. It's going to seem like they're punished. It's going to seem like they're suffering because that's kind of what's going on. But as souls, and Dolores Cannon called them the background people. The ones that just kind of wake up, suffer, eat, work, sleep, poop, do it again the next day. But they're the most sovereign, wisest ones of us all because they've done their work in all the other lifetimes. They're the ones taking one for the team. Because as soon as phase 1, they're there. Phase 2, we're about to wake up and join. Phase 3, they're going to join the 5D consciousness. Nobody's left behind. But see, the people who are still suffering right now, they'll all join. Nobody's going to be left behind. But the reason why you and I are here right now is because everybody moving into the 5D consciousness, we're not going all at the same time, because if we all went at the same time, it would be this big blast of light that we wouldn't be able to unpack together. We want to do it little by little so we can stop and say, hey, how was that for you? How was your experience? Can we pull that apart together? When things have happened drastically before, like the explosion of Atlantis, we haven't been able to stop and take ownership. It's been too fast. So we collectively decided as a consciousness, we're going to do this one in phases. We're going to take it slow. And we even decided together, okay, you be the hero, you be the villain, you be Mother Teresa, you be these characters. We mapped it all out. And we knew, okay, this person's going to take the blame. This person's going to be the scapegoat. This person's going to be this. And people are winning Academy Awards. And I know that when I say this out loud, it might sound like, well, it takes the blame off people. And that's not what I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying at all. Because the people doing these things, they don't know that they signed up pre-life to do these things. We are in a real 3D world that doesn't feel like a simulation. This is real. This is sacred realness that we're not bypassing. We're in the depth of hunger, war. We're in all this. But also woven into it, we are remembering who we are. And the people who are in phase 1, we know that they are already in the 5D because they're the people who have died. Betty White, great example. Prince, great example. There are new ascended masters. Everybody has someone in their life that they could look at and either say, "Oh, that's my person who always was in the 5D, and now he or she has passed. I can see how they're carving a way for me to be in the 5D really soon." Or they know somebody who probably couldn't get there in life, but now that they're free of their burdens, they're definitely in the 5D in the quantum space. That's phase 1. Phase 2, those of us who are remembering our spirituality. I have a channeled message to help us kind of boost into that. And then phase 3, I don't know what that looks like for people who are suffering, but I know it's in play.
So it gives those who are suffering hope.
Yes.
And I think that that's really the key
Yeah.
is
Because we're not left behind.
my friend, my dear friend Sun Ching, who's a Taoist priest, what's he call it? He calls it hopeism, or it's like something like hopeism, I think is what he says. He's a riot. And he says, hopeism is one of the most important things that fuels our bodies, because when we have hope, our beliefs can affect our thoughts, and our thoughts create our reality. So I think he calls it hopeism. And the first time I heard him say that, I said, "Oh, that's good. I'm gonna poach that one." So
Yep.
hopeism.
Yep.
So that makes sense to me. And that would give those people who are living difficult lives hope that there really is a reason for why they're suffering in this lifetime. What I've been told by Spirit a bazillion times is we choose to go through those things because in the spirit form, it's not good or bad. It's just an experience. It's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. It's just an experience, and it expands our frame of reference from a spiritual perspective. Like, you're abused as a child, and then maybe somebody comes back as an abuser or vice versa. And we're thinking, "Oh, that person was horrific." And then we say, "Okay, but they were abused in another life," and they wanna understand the experience of the abuser to help them expand and explore, which doesn't make sense in our human minds of why anything like that would be condoned or allowed, and yet we don't know what their past lives have been. We don't know what they came in to explore and experience in this life. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I do. Well said. And it's a hard message to share with someone who has experienced that, but and yet it is a truth. Um, Speaking from an angel perspective and a human perspective, I can see all sides of that. I was abused as a child, and as an angel, I have access to all my other lifetimes. So I have experience being the abused, and I remember being the abuser. I know both sides.
Mhm.
And when I tap into my other lifetime being the abuser, I remember being the abused.
Yeah.
So
For
I have a sense of the whole cycle. And that's not to layer in an excuse in any way, but I can't sense where the circle breaks.
Mm.
I really can't. And when I had my near death experience and I told you about the grown up voice in there, when I go into the sense of being the child who's abused in the past life as the abuser, I still hear the same consciousness voice. And all the other lifetimes, the same voice is there. That's the voice of my soul, no matter what lifetime I'm going in, whether I'm male, female, dragon, bird, I still am hearing that voice. It's still me, whether I was the abused or the abuser. It's still my God self. So you're right. We we decide what is for our highest level of learning. And it's not until we fully immerse ourselves into our body, into our ego, that we start to we start to judge if it's bad or if it's good. And we're gonna do that no matter what. It's just part of this realm. I do it too.
well, we need to, I believe, to have the human experience because we can't
Yes.
go around killing each other. Because if we did that,
No.
nobody's gonna have the human experience. And
That's right.
I think where people really get caught up on this stuff, Rach, is when they think of like a Hitler
Yeah.
or a Genghis Khan or somebody
Yes.
that's just horrific.
Yes, and I've channeled Hitler before. I've talked to him, and he's a really interesting person because the reason I've talked to him is because my I have a great interest in the afterlife as far as what happens to people who have done heinous things. And in my younger years, I went to seminary because naturally thought, well, of course, I'm an angel and a psychic. Why not be a minister? That didn't work, but I tried. But in my work, my research as a person who grew up Catholic, I really wanted to know how hell fit in. So
Mm.
who better to talk to than Adolf Hitler?
Because you want to see if he was burning in the eternal
Yeah,
flames?
I wanted to know, like, okay, where are you right now? And what he showed me was he was in heaven, there is no hell, but his heaven was difficult. And it reminded me of Dante's Inferno, where you match the layer you go is the match to what you've done. And so what his afterlife is a he's experiencing everything that he's done to other people. But when he's experiencing it, he doesn't know that it's made up. He goes into a dimension where he is in full belief that he's a little girl until that little girl's life is done. Then he goes into the life of an older woman who was taken by the Nazis. Then it repeats. So if that woman was there at the camp for 9 months or 3 years, he layers into that experience, and he has no idea he's Hitler for that time till she dies, and then he's part of her life review. And I don't see that woman knows either that that's being replayed. It's like he's meshed into a holographic version of that, but that's what his, I'm gonna call it, therapy is. So there is maybe is no hell, but it seemed pretty hellish to me.
I've heard that there are those who believe that we live multiple lifetimes concurrently because time doesn't
Yes,
exist in the spirit world. So, back to that experience, let's say, of Hitler when you talked with him, is he experiencing all those different lifetimes at the same time and individually?
I'm asking right now. The answer is yes.
I got a yes too, as soon as I asked the question. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And then I am being told that there is a version of him that goes on, they're calling it lockdown pause. So they have enough clarity to ask him questions like, how was that for you? Moving forward type questions, open-ended questions. So he doesn't get, they're saying, regurgitated into the system.
What does that mean?
Recycled soul. So he doesn't just reincarnate and become a killer.
Okay. Okay. Let's change directions for a minute. You've also said that since 2024, since the eclipse in 2024,
Yeah.
multiple timelines have begun merging into one.
Yes.
What exactly shifted during that eclipse, and what are the deeper ramifications of these timelines converging?
When we had the eclipse in 2024, there were a lot of things that happened on Earth that were CERN related, scientifically related, that the angels were watching to just to make sure that, honestly, that nothing bad would happen when all
CERN,
of
like
the.
nuclear reactor CERN?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, say
Um,
more about that.
well, I don't know much about it. I just know that the angels were showing me that a lot of nuclear reactors were opening. There were a lot of portals opening that basically a lot of scientists and agencies were utilizing the April 8th eclipse, the energy of that. And that was such big energy that it moved the timelines of the multiverse successfully into the convergence of one. So it moved all the timelines in the direction of one. And they always use that symbol of a whole bunch of Twizzlers smashing into one pack of Twizzlers like you get at the movies when all those Twizzlers are stuck to one.
Like
So, yeah.
the licorice you're talking about?
Yeah, the licorice, yeah. So instead of them all separate, it squished into one. And it didn't happen on April 8th, but it started to converge into one. And they said that the April 8th eclipse, that energy was so big that day, and there were so many helpers on guard, extraterrestrials, angelic beings, elementals, and they weren't watching to see if something was going wrong. They were just like everybody was holding their arms out. The whole world was for this planet. And I really don't know much about that. I can't speak more about that because it's just kind of beyond me. But
Okay.
after that happened, it opened everybody up who was in that phase 2 that we spoke about earlier. And all of our timelines and started to converge as well, which how that would might play out in our everyday lives would be if we're at our desk and we have a bunch of things that we have to do on our to-do list, they would naturally just fall off. And so that might be people that we are not really in alignment with anymore. They might just not show up for something and we might not miss it. Um, Investments that are not for us will naturally fall through because those are timelines that we are not meant to manage anymore. And so it's up to us to be proactive about those things, to look at those things with a reasonable lens. Oh, okay, that was not for me. So there are small timelines that are starting to fall away as our personal timelines converge. And as those timelines converge for the world and our personal timelines converge, things get clearer, clear, clear, clear. Well, we're also seeing that in the world proper, where there were control systems, we could see maybe that a church system that was trying to rule with an iron fist. Well, that system's not going to work anymore. So we're going to see that start to pull apart. I'm making up that example. But a system that maybe any system that would have an iron fist and didn't have any spirit in it anymore, we're going to see those things unravel. Any system that lacks justice, any system that lacks communication, any system that's not for the people, any system that does not have the frequency of love, you will now see it unravel because it does not fit the convergence. Anything that's not in alignment with that one timeline, because this timeline now is made of pure love. Anything that is not made of love cannot live in this timeline, because this timeline will push out anything that is not made of the same frequency. It cannot exist in this timeline. It could live there for a little bit, but it'll get pushed out.
Are we gonna witness this convergence, the end of the convergence in our lifetimes, or are we
Yes,
talking
by
like
2032.
thousands of years? 2032.
Yeah, it's
Right.
literally happening now.
Wow. Wow. So when we're recording that, that's 8 years from now.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
happening as we speak.
When right before the eclipse, I was on several shows. I was a guest on several shows, and a lot of people were talking about the eclipse and the doom and the gloom and all this
Mm-mm.
bad stuff, and I kept getting, "No, this is gonna
No.
be amazing." And everybody's the vibration's raising and people are starting to the zeitgeist is changing, and this is positive. This is all positive
Yes,
stuff coming in. So you're the first one I've heard that agrees with what I was getting on
it's
that.
all positive.
It's all positive. I
It's
get
all
that too.
positive, and, I wanna be real about it. The way we're human, so the way we get there, it's gonna be messy sometimes. I don't wanna deny that, and I don't want anyone to deny their feelings. I mean, I've my depression's been heightened lately. If there's a solar flare, I sleep for a day. I still feel big stuff, and I know the world's going through a lot. Like, yes, yes, it's seen. We get it. I get it. And also, the timeline has converged. It's done. It's now solidifying. So enjoy it. And
Yeah.
our part in it, I have this great channeled message I can't wait to share because it literally is a tool to get cozy with that convergence.
Okay. We'll get that from you. I got a few more questions
Good.
for you, and then we'll go to there. You mentioned elementals,
Yeah.
and please explain what an elemental is, and then how do they and the angels and the ascended masters and the ETs and all that, how do they work with you and through you to help others, both individually and also en masse?
Mm. Elementals are really interesting to me because they have been part of this planet before anything was here. So I don't always know what they look like or how to refer to them, and they don't always tell their secrets. So if I say, "What are you made of?" Sometimes the response I'll get is just a head shake. "No, thank you. We're just here to give you information." And I'll ask, "Are you indigenous?" And they'll say, "Older." And it's just they are not connected to time at all. And I'll ask, "What planetary system are you from?" "None." They just are from no time whatsoever. And I'll ask, "Are you connected to any god?" And they'll say something like, "Yes, all." What does that mean? I mean, I don't know. Some of those things I just say, "Okay, beyond my pay grade." And I and if they feel loving, they are loving, and if my angels are good with it, I'm good with it. So, the elementals that I have checked into about things like the timeline convergence, they're the elementals that have been here before Earth was here. Now, I know other elementals include the Fae, um, more Earth elementals.
Like the fairies and the leprechauns and the
Yes,
dragons and the mermaids and all that.
yes.
Yeah. Are
I don't
they
know much
real?
about them. They are real. Mhm. Yes, I don't have much connection with them. I really think because I live in Des Moines, Iowa, and this is kind of, we work really hard here. There's a lot of survival energy here. I would be curious if I spent a little more time in a nature-based place, if I could connect to them, but, yeah, the elementals I work with are more energy-based, and I guess I would just say ancient, ancient, ancient. So if anybody listening knows anything about them, wow, please reach out. I'd love to learn from you.
Yeah. I've seen and communicated with the fairies and the leprechauns in Ireland, and
Wow.
yeah, which is really fun, and then the fairies here in Birmingham, in Sweet Home Alabama.
Wow.
And they're dressed differently. The fairies in Ireland are dressed like Tinker Bell, and the fairies in Birmingham have wings in the botanical garden is where I normally see them, and I'll ask them to come out, but they're dressed like University of Alabama majorettes, and they have on these silver sequin sparkly,
Of course they
like
do.
leotard things
How big are they?
they're little. They're really little. The leprechauns and the fairies, I would say they're like 2 to 3 inches as I perceive them, and they communicate telepathically, but I can hear them because there's kind of a buzzing noise when they come out. Kind of a cross between a bee and I don't know, some other flying insect
Hummingbird,
kind of
maybe?
thing. Maybe, maybe, actually. But we had Tanis Hallowell on the show,
Hmm.
and she's fabulous. You will love her. I'll send you the link, and we'll put it in the show notes of that episode because she specializes in elementals and has communicated with them for eons. And what came up during that interview, Rach, was how much Walt Disney used elementals in his work, in his movies, the dwarves, the elves, the mermaid,
Yeah.
the fairy princess, the Tinkerbells, all
Yeah,
of
that's
that.
right.
And her point was she thought that he was a hybrid elemental slash human. And that's why he was so invested in keeping
Wow.
that history and those stories and tales and things alive in the form of future movies for future generations of children. And boy, that really resonated with me. Does it with you?
When you say it, it gives me something to think about. It takes me to the movie Avatar, and that movie meant a lot to me because those beings looked so familiar to me when I was, watching that movie and about how we go into our avatar selves. That wouldn't surprise me at all about Walt Disney.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, couple more questions, then I want you to give us the message from your peeps. What's something about the quantum realm or parallel realities that surprises people? And how can we begin to navigate those layers consciously in our own lives?
People don't realize that there can be more than one version of them, and that
Happening at the
those
same time.
yeah, and that those versions are happening as we speak. And I think what's fundamentally at the root of that is we don't realize how amazing we are. We do not realize that there's more of us possible than what we see in the mirror or what we see our hands can do. That we are so brilliant and so faceted and so made of divine spirit that you and I talking right now and all the people listening, we are multitasking to such a divine degree that you and I probably have a spiritual school somewhere. We're in Edinburgh, Scotland somewhere. We're in Egypt in our other lifetime. We have a coven somewhere. We're doing all of these things. We're solving the world's problems. I don't know. But we have all these other timelines happening as we speak, but we don't know because we're not tuned into them because we don't need to be. Not only are those timelines happening, but we're so tuned into our divinity, we're not managing them. What? Wow, that's amazing. We're the best multitaskers. We trust each other, we trust ourselves. And if we can do more of that now, wow, we'd be way into the 5D, 12D. We really would. So the other thing I wish people to know is that if they could meditate in a way that makes sense to them, and realize that the information that comes to them, they're not making up. That information is coming from their other timelines. And the information that they either go out and get as a fact-finding mission from their other timelines, or the stuff that drops in, that belongs to them, and they can pull it into this timeline. They can copy and paste it. We can start to combine timelines because we're in the convergence. So all those other timelines that you might have when you dream, like, oh, I just had this really realistic dream. Well, that's another timeline of yours. And it's starting to merge into this one because we're going into that big squished Twizzlers timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see something you don't like, talk to yourself about it. I'm not proud of that. Let's close that timeline. If you see something that you love or you feel something like, oh, that project, I wish I knew what it was. I can just feel it. I feel it. Well, where do you feel it? Is it over here? Oh, pluck it like a guitar string. Pull it in. Where do you feel your timeline? Is it right here? Okay, well, pull that timeline in. Pull it physically. Pull it in till you feel it converged with you. And then ask your angels or ask your higher self, ask God, what is my next right divine plan of action? What do I do next?
Mm-hmm. And then you'll be led. Okay. What message do your angels
Hold on, I dropped my paper. Hold on.
and all your advisory council, all your peeps, what do they want to tell us?
Okay, this is like at 5 a.m. So let me see if I still remember.
Oh, you got to download at 5 a.m.
I
for it?
did.
Oh,
I did. Okay.
That's when mine come in too. And I
Really?
call them divine downloads. Yeah, between 5 and 6 usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to get them in the shower, which was not helpful at all because there's no place to write. So this is better. Okay, so this is what I got. I woke up early, and I woke up and I was seeing all these numbers in my room. Like it was a portal and all these numbers. And I said, well, what is this? And they said, when you talk to Julie, tell people that these are the codes that they need to start converging their timelines. So tell them these codes, have the people write them down, and they need to chant them in a sing-songy voice. And this will help them move their other timelines into this one. So here we go. This one is for spiritual alignment and cosmic intelligence. So could you define that, guys? Spiritual alignment, cosmic, talking to us, talking to the upper realms, opening your third eye. 918. 918. They said it like a jingle. 918, but you can do any tune you want.
It's like you're dialing them like an area code.
Yeah,
almost.
918.
Wow.
918. This one is stabilizing your quantum consciousness into your physical body. So anything you want in the world, in the quantum, in another timeline, if you want to pull it into your body, like if you dream of healing something, but you feel like it's way out here, you want to pull it into your body. 798.
Did they have a different jingle for that, or was it the same?
It's just whatever comes out of your face.
798.
798. Okay. This one is amplification, manifestation, and resonance. Money.
Yeah.
318.
Okay.
318. This one is a clear perception of multidimensional guidance. This is being able to perceive all of the guides around you. 614.
That's my home area code where I grew up. Whoa. That's Columbus, Ohio. I have whole body like going, whoa. Wow.
614.
614. Yeah.
This one is harmonizing with higher timelines and divine tech. So this is anytime the extraterrestrials are moving tech into our atmosphere that helps us, like to upgrade us. And this cue could be when your ears ring. You could say 217.
Okay. The interesting thing about the ears ringing is more and more people, when they call into the show or if I'm working with them in a private consult, they've got tinnitus. I mean,
Yeah.
I've never heard about so much ear ringing before. It's super common.
That's part of phase 2 because they're lifting our frequency.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Now, if you put all of these together and you say them all together, this is an amplification code. So if you wanted to just do a whole body healing, if you wanted to bring in money, abundance, world peace, say all the numbers together. 918-798, 318-614-217. You don't have to say an intention, the numbers do it. The numbers have their own frequency. Each number is a song, a love note in its own self. So as you say these numbers, they start to work with your auric field, your electromagnetic field. And as you speak them, sing them, speak them, they start to, I can see them move like butterflies in the auric field. You can also write them on your skin. You can write them on your water bottle. Put your water bottle in the fridge overnight so it infuses the water. You can speak them to a crystal and then put the crystals around your house.
Interesting. All right. I could talk to you for years. Last question. Why do we incarnate?
Hmm. We have all chosen to incarnate to grow this universe. We are, I'm going to be brave here and say that we're all the same being, honestly. We're all the same, we're all fractals, segments of the same orange. We really are. We may have forgotten that after all these incarnations. And, I could open that up and be more philosophical and say we're here for love, we're here to love each other. Yeah, all that's true, but there's more directives this time. We're breaking some things down, we're rebuilding, and there are phases to it. There's a blueprint to it.
Well, and back to your point earlier too, Rach, about that Earth affects the multiverse. It's not just happening on Earth, but what happens on Earth based on what you mentioned earlier in this conversation, it affects galaxies far, far
Yeah,
away.
we're being watched. Yeah.
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 Interesting.
In
Okay.
such a good way.
Yeah. Great. You are so extraordinary.
Ah, you too.
When I hear you talk about these different things and obviously we've been on the same wavelength for a lot of this. I mean, you and I are seeing the same things in our mind's eye when you were talking about the conference room and stuff like that. The things that you say when we're having a conversation don't always make sense to me in my human mind, but they resonate with my soul.
Mm,
And those of us like you and me who've done this work for a long time, we can tell when something resonates or not,
yeah.
even if we don't understand it.
Yes.
And so,
And we can be brave about it.
well, and that's what I was just going to say. I commend you for your golden ovary courage to be able to put yourself out there and live an existence as a mom and a wife and a daughter and all of that stuff that you're doing, and I do the same thing, and we've got this spiritual side that helps us, and you're an angel in the meantime. So, I just love our conversations, and I learn so much from you, and I know everybody listening is gonna learn a lot from this conversation as well. How can people get to know more about you and your work?
Well, I feel the same about you too, Julie. I just want to say that. And I just encourage everybody to just talk about everything you heard today and be candid about it. And I just love, I love the conversation that this will evoke. this is the place to do it, right? I love that so much. I love it. I love it. Be kind to each other, but that's the only thing. Speak in love. I don't care what you say about me. Doesn't matter, but be kind to each other. And if you want to reach out, I'm on social media, Facebook and Instagram, and also my website's rachelcorpus.com. And I have a show called Angel Talk on the mindbodyspirit.fm network. And Julie, you're going to be on my show pretty soon here.
Yeah, and I have been originally. I was once before. Yeah, so we'll do a...
Yeah, we get to do it again. I can't wait.
Okay, my girl. Thank you for making time for us and
Always.
for sharing all your wisdom, or a portion of your wisdom, I should say.
You got it all. I'm done. That's it. All
Yeah,
out.
I don't believe that for a minute. Alrighty, everybody. Sending you lots of love from Sweet Home, Alabama. Mwah! And from Iowa, too, where Rachel is. We'll see you next time. To enhance your spiritual journey, click on one of the videos below and remember to subscribe, leave a comment, and share this episode with your family and friends.